Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on another episode of Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. But you know what? Whenever I air, whenever you decide to watch, look, listen, I appreciate those likes, the looks, the listens, but of course I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe and notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. As usual, do that if you want to, no pressure whatsoever. Of course, I'm looking for the algorithm to swing in my favor so I could spread more of my content to help more people. I'm going to get right into it. I'm a little bit late on the bandwagon with this issue of the woman who was on social media all over the place, and people are reacting in great numbers. It is a woman of Eastern African descent, I believe from Somalia. Her name is Rhoda Bashi. I think I'm pronouncing her name properly. So basically, she just got a little bit more infamy online because she was allegedly hit with a brick by a man that she did not want to give her phone number to. Now, of course, off the top, that's an absolutely terrible thing to have happen to anybody for any reason whatsoever. I could just a little bit sympathize because a very long time ago, I was involved in a altercation on the streets of New York, and I was blindsided, hit by something inside of my face. But that's a whole nother story, whole nother time, whole nother era. And he was going forward. Now, the terrible thing is that the kind of reactions that we're getting from it, because we know we're already in the heat of the battle between the genders. That seems like a battle that's never going to go away, unfortunately. So everyone in the manosphere and the feminist groups, whatever it could be, a man for a feminist or a woman for the manosphere, whatever it is, they're lighting everything up right now. And unfortunately, this is more fuel to the fire. But speaking about fuel, I'm not going to go too much into this young woman here, but even though she's like the catalyst of this podcast to go into something more deeper that I'm going to talk about, well, she's known for being very abrasive, and she actually attracts a lot of the wrong attention. Again, I'm not saying that anyone deserves to get a brick to the face. That's something very harsh to have to go through. But as you can see, she's a very beautiful woman. Unfortunately, from everything I gather, her character is not beautiful. So many unsavory things that she's done. And the thing about it is, if you go out in the world projecting certain energies about you and certain attentions, you're going to get it in like. You're going to attract it. You're going to get it. Sometimes you ask for it. Did she ask for it? I don't know. I wasn't there. But that's not the whole key point of why I'm bringing this up. I want to focus on most of the platforms out there, manosphere, feminist platforms, where basically they bring you their opinions and they give you advice based on how they feel. Now, some of it could be sound. There's some things that I hear that I agree with. But the fact of the matter is most of them, do not include Yah in our decisions. We can't continue to have these problems and then think that we can find our own way out of it. It's not going to happen because we didn't design ourselves. We didn't design our own characters. We may do what we want to do. We may utilize our free will to do what we want to do. But the unfortunate part is we find ourselves more in a rut because a lot of certain manosphere, what I call manosphere or red pill channels and platforms, is that they would tell men to improve themselves, which we should. We should be on our purpose. We should build ourselves up so professionally, financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, we are solid. So when we do find a proper woman, a mate to be with, we have ourselves established and standardized so that we can provide, and also we can also provision a household and a home for a family. As for the women as well, they say that they shouldn't accept certain things from men, which I totally agree with, because you have to have a proper standard if you are going to pair up with a man that is supposed to lead you and provide a foundation for you, him, and the family. So you can make sure that he has the right mindset and he has a proper heart and character. But that's probably as far as my agreement would go with certain platforms. Because again, once you do not involve Yah in your decisions, you will be destined to fail. So just as how you could see this woman who was attacked with a brick, you could see the damage. The thing is, when we follow the advice of these platforms, these people who have these channels, and they tell you to go your own way, do your own thing, basically it's tit for tat. we cause damage to ourselves the same way how she was damaged. Our character and our spiritual life gets damaged. We get hit by a brick every time that we make the wrong decision because we're adding to the problem. We are not seeing the whole bigger picture. We're going based on our feelings. We're going based on what someone else is doing or other people are doing or what we may think is doing, because you have to remember media is a very powerful tool where we can either educate and uplift people or manipulate people. And most of these people in these channels, they manipulate people because they spew whatever there is there they want to, their opinions based on their experiences and observations. And yes, they're very articulate with how they speak these things, but you have to understand where they're coming from and where they're going to with this, and where are they leading you. Is it more tit for tat behavior? Is it going to be more spiteful behavior? Well, if women are going to do this, I'm going to do this. If men are going to do this, I'm going to do this. And how are we getting better in the long run? You have to ask yourself, how is that making us better? Again, you can't follow people. You can't fear people, run behind people all the time. Yes, we could interact with people, engage with people, taking opinions that are outside of our own, because that's how we properly go. But you have to do it with discernment. And your own discernment is not going to be enough all the time. Your own knowledge and your own experience is not going to be enough all the time. So we have to take in people. We have to have that standard of having Yah to make sure. Because once we know how we're supposed to live, what we're supposed to accept in our lives, and how we're supposed to walk and talk and think and eat and everything, we're going to be able to identify what is damaging to us and what is actually uplifting to us. This is why we keep finding ourselves in these problems, not tit for tat. And I get it. Nowadays, it's very hard to want to be sympathetic to certain people who, a person or a group of people who look like they have brought issues onto themselves. But you can't include yourself in that mix, because they will continue to lead us down more division. We have more than enough things to divide us as is. Why add to that? Why not add proper value? The only value that they're adding when they give you these advices and opinions, they're adding value to their own bank account, because they know what you want to hear. They know what they need to say to get the viewer count going up, to get their chances of sponsorship going up, to make sure that they don't even have to work a 9 to 5. I just got to sit in front of this microphone and camera and spew what I know what you want to hear to keep the beef cooking. Most people aren't talking about. Humble yourself to Yah, accept Yeshua, understand the proper level of life you're supposed to have, and you won't get caught up in this nonsense. You can see what's going on, you can understand why it's going on, but then you know you're not going to get involved and add to the problem. As I always say, follow Yah, follow God, our Elohim, follow the way of Yeshua. That's how a man is supposed to be, and it gives a character of how we are supposed to be overall as humans to each other. Not tit for tat, not spiting, not going our own way, or I'm going to make sure this gender pays or that gender pays. Get yourself right and stop the nonsense, because to me it's very tiring to hear it. People talking about all this stuff, and they have all these subscribers and people leaving comments and, yeah, that's right, but ain't nobody talk about Yeshua. You see, it takes a way stronger man and a way stronger woman to follow Yah instead of the world. Anyways, that's all I have for today. If you want to get more of my content, please feel free to go to my website at brooklynbaritone.com. There's much media there. I also have merch there. Hey, look at this t-shirt, new one. You could also find my video content, more of my video content on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. You could hit me up on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. You can find me also on Facebook and on Instagram. You can find the audio versions of these podcasts on Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes Podcasts, and Amazon Music under Podcasts. I also air 2 times a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. All right, guys, I thank you very much for listening. I want you guys to please give thought to what I'm saying. Anyways, I want you guys to be blessed, be good. I'm out. You will hear from me next time.